Welcome again to For Families podcast. This is where we have conversations on parents, on children, for families. My name is Isabella Adeniyi. Super excited. I say it all the time, but that's because I get to learn, relearn, and unlearn. I get to have amazing conversations. I put you on to all the good stuff, and of course, answer your burning questions. So, what are we getting into today? This one, I'm sure you can relate, trust me. Because when you hear JAPA, your mind is already thinking Canada, UK. You're thinking, in fact, these days they JAPA to Australia, China. Some places you'll be like, people are JAPA into Afghanistan. But yeah, it's happening. And the effect JAPA is having on families is that sometimes it's one person who gets the visa and moves, and then the other person waits with the kids. Or sometimes the first person gets the visa, moves with the kids, the second person remains in Nigeria and is trying to, make money to send abroad and eventually join the family. But it does affect the family dynamics, whether or not we like it. And sometimes the JAPA might not even be as far. It could be JAPA to Ghana. It could be JAPA from Lagos to Abuja. Someone gets political appointment or is employed by an international body and they have to move. At some point, I've even considered that what happens if I get an appointment and I move to Abuja? Am I going to go with the kids? Are the kids going to stay back in Lagos with my husband? How would that affect our dynamics? And the fact is that JAPA is real, whether it's because of job opportunity or it's because you're looking for greener pastures or somebody wants to pursue a second degree or just change career completely or just wants a different slice of life. You know what? The grass is greener there. I want to go and enjoy that green grass in America. JAPA has come, and sometimes it can be very hard for the family to find its rhythm. So how do you make it work when you're apart? How do you find balance with work in Nigeria, schooling in Canada, and raising children? It's a lot, and we're going to unpack it. Sometimes that separation is temporal, and people do make plans to eventually join their partner and children or to come back to Nigeria. JAPA is real, but during the time apart, what can you do to ensure that the family doesn't suffer? So we're going to be going into this conversation. I'm excited about it because, as I said, if it be me, if it be you, if it be anybody. So time to meet our guest. Our guest today is a multi-dimensional person. I want to use that because his career spans supply chain, marketing, sales, strategy, and he's not even working abroad. So it's like, wow, we like call him an expatriate, international big man that is coming here. But one thing about him is that he's very passionate about family. He's passionate about his faith. We sometimes tease him and say Pastor J, because, once he gave his life to Christ, everybody was like, he was he's still very, very much committed, and he's a family man through and through, and he has found a way to make it work while the family has moved, not once, but twice. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. He's a cool guy, doesn't look his age. Yes, I'm talking about Pastor J, aka Adeniyi Jayeola. Welcome.
Thank you, Bella. Nice to be here. Glad to be here too.
Did I miss out anything?
I think you covered, most of what needs to be said.
Yes. And I mean, I know you personally because we used to work together. Yes. And what is very interesting is that this your work. Naim put you together.
Yeah, so not the same work. Naim can still
explain it, So just let us know how work has been an integral part of your family today.
Yeah. So I met my wife in Nestle. She works in HR, and at the time I was working in the factory logistics team. And very early on, so I first of all had an opportunity actually to take an assignment outside the country, but we just got married at that time. We were still trying for babies. That was not going to work if I took the foreign assignment, so I didn't. Then we had had our first issue, right? And we had the baby, and not long after she got an assignment. Remember, I think our first baby was like maybe 2 years old thereabouts, and then she got her first assignment to go to Vevey in Switzerland. That's like 6 hours flight away. Okay, about an hour flight away rather, 6 hours flight away rather, and that was difficult because it will take a bit for me to be able to visit the family, see the family, and all of that. But we found a way to make it work. I guess we'll talk about that. And then she came back from a foreign assignment, and I think we had our second child. And then not long after that, she got another assignment again to go to work, in West Africa, here in Ghana, in our regional head office. And that took the family away again. For the first time, it was over a year, and then for the second time, maybe 2 years, 9 months, going on 10 months, that she was away with the kids, and I had to be here in Nigeria, visiting the family as often as I could. So it's just the nature of multinational organizations. Anything can happen to anybody. The organization, of course, tries to keep the family together, but it doesn't always work. Okay, so we have to find the workarounds to keep the family unit going. Yeah.
Well, is this same office that brought the two of you together,
It's
so
the
it
same
will
office.
find a way to keep you both
Yeah.
together. But I want you to cast your mind back to your childhood. Growing up, did you ever see maybe your dad live apart from your mom, or your mom live apart from your dad? Because listening to your story, like one person was in head office, one person was in factory, so we're already doing the long distance between Agbara and
Yes. In the
Ilupeju.
beginning, yes.
But in your childhood, did you ever experience one parent living apart from the family?
No. To some extent, my dad is polygamous, okay, and he had more than one home, you see. So per time, he would be away from home. Okay, so I mean, not for long stretches, but typically, within the period of a month, it will be away from home for a week, 2 weeks, thereabout. But that, you will see him and all of that. So, it was not a long stretch, but the absence was there, you see. And it's definitely not the same thing, not the same experience a child who grew up in a home where the father and mother are always around will have. No, it was not the same thing. But definitely not what we are talking about today, JAPA situation where one bit of the family will be abroad, and then another bit will be maybe in Nigeria for long periods of time, not seeing each other. Yeah. So yeah, we had that. And one thing I wanted the most, growing up, was that I really wanted to have that close family unit thing. I really wanted it because I, at some point, stayed with some of our family members whose units, were always very close knit. I saw a family dynamic that I did not experience growing up. So I always thought that this is what I wanted for myself. Alas.
So that's interesting because you experienced your dad going to his other homes and missing out for the short period of time, and you saw what you felt is the ideal situation where everybody is together. And then the same thing plays itself out. What went through your mind when it became a reality? Like, this is not Lagos to Abuja, this is not Ilupeju to Agbara, this is like Vevey. It's not even London. Like, it's not a direct flight.
Yes. So I mean, first of all, I think I definitely overestimated my ability to survive without my family. Definitely. The plan was that, within the period of every 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks, I would visit, so there was kind of something to always look forward to. But 6 weeks, 7 weeks had never been so long for me. You get, it was difficult that first stint, when, my wife and our baby girl traveled abroad. It was difficult. because my daughter is amazing. I had a bond with her, and then, doing that with my wife on a daily basis, however we manage it when we were here in Nigeria. All of that just changed, it was just me in an empty house, on a daily basis. And the only connection I had, was the video calls that we'll have, with my wife. And you know what, when they say kids go through that phase of being in the terrible two stage, my daughter was, oh my God, she was the queen of all the terrible twos. She gave my wife hell. And I would itch and look forward to every opportunity I have to go to Switzerland and give her the disciplining she needs. I would always be like, I can't wait to get my hands on this girl. There was so much I could do in Switzerland anyway, because they can come and take your baby away from you, but yeah. It was difficult. Because I knew what needed to be done in some instances, but I was not there to do it, you see. And you can only keep the attention of a 2-year-old for so long on the phone, you see. So
very true. So where did you how did you reach that decision of, okay, this is my ideal family of us living together, but I also want to support my wife in this foreign assignment? Because you mentioned you had the opportunity for a foreign assignment and you turned that down. So did it ever cross your mind? Did it come up in conversation that I turned my own down, maybe you too, you need to turn your own down so we can be together as one?
It was a fantastic opportunity, and my wife's career prospects, were very strong, you get. And it was a huge opportunity to work, in the headquarters, you see. So there was no way I was going to stand in the way of that. There was no way. Everything that occurred to me, everything I thought of was, how do we make this work, in the circumstances. It didn't even matter to me that at some points I, didn't, take the opportunities I had to go abroad. No, all I just wanted to do was, make it work. But like I said, I think I underestimated how difficult it was going to be.
How was it for her?
Oh wow, it was it was difficult for her. Like I said, my daughter made it hard, and she had to manage. Anyway, we, made plans to help. The nanny traveled with them, and for long periods, our mom was also with the kids, was also with them in Veve. But nonetheless, trying to prove yourself in that environment was a big deal. Not having your husband around, coming home to your daughter, trying to manage, being both the mother and the father as much as you can. It was a lot for her. And I think, I'd rather commend her for how she managed that period than anything. Yeah.
At any point, did you think, well, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to go and fly to Baby, I'll start something on the internet, I'll start dancing on TikTok, or...
Oh my God. No, not at that time, because, I was also, building my career at the time. And there was a lot to work for myself, you see. So we were satisfied with the plan that I will come every 6 to 8 weeks, thereabouts, to Baby, and stay 2-3 weeks, and come back. We were satisfied with that plan. We thought, it was a working plan. We made the most of it, but can it compare to having the family unit together? No. So was a price paid? Yes, a price was paid. Price was paid for, the family being apart at that time, raising a girl and then trying to have another baby too.
Wow.
Yes,
so
we were trying.
That means we were on a mission every time we went to Baby.
I'm telling you, it was it was man on a mission. Yes. And trust my wife to be very, she went about that project the way she will go about any project, with diligence and planning and all of that.
I stand a determined wife. I think, looking back now, do you think maybe your daughter should have stayed back in Nigeria so your wife is able to fully prove herself and doesn't have another thing to worry about?
No, I think the distraction would have been not having our daughter with her. That would have been the distraction, because she needed, to have her with her, to have, that peace of mind. You know how it is with mommies and their babies, really. And we understood, I understood. And, our fallback really was that she will have a full-time nanny with her, and then she will have her mom for long periods also to support her and all of that. So it worked more for her that our daughter was with them than it would have if she was with me and she was alone there.
But you wish that maybe your daughter was with you?
But of course. Of course,
So-
for the second assignment, when she had to go, for a while by herself, and I had the kids with me. That time we had our son also. And it was hard not having her around, but it was so much better having the kids to come back to every day. And if I would typically stay out late at work or go out, for social gatherings after work, at that time, those things didn't interest me. I just wanted to go back home and make sure the kids were good and all of that. And I truly enjoyed being the dad and mom, thinking about the things that I wouldn't typically think about, as the dad. Yeah. So it was, I really, really enjoyed that period. So at all instances, if I could have the kids for myself, I would. But I know that it won't work for my wife.
So why was that second time different? Was it because they were two, or was it because you had learned some things from Vivi and you didn't want them to repeat themselves? What?
It was the terms of the assignment. Okay, that meant the kids will still have to be with me. Now, when the terms of the assignments changed, then the kid could go and join. Yes.
This company,
Yeah,
this company.
I'm telling you.
So that assignment is still ongoing.
It's still ongoing, yes.
Wow.
It's still ongoing.
What has it been like for the children, the different experiences? I mean, for your daughter, the baby, for your son, Nigeria and Ghana. Your daughter also has Ghana.
Yes. How has it been for the kids? Of course, it will be from my perspective of what I see, right? And
I mean, your daughter is how old? I'm sure you have conversations.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have, very lengthy conversations. I have a habit of, when I call and I want to talk, I'll tell my daughter to take the phone away from everybody, to be on her own, so that she knows that it's my time and her time. I have that habit, and we'll talk. But what I realized was that, she in particular knew that I was not as much a part of their lives as I should. I think that was clear. She knew that I was not much a part of their lives as I should. And she could make the comparisons because, as opposed to the boy, maybe, she has enjoyed, more lengthy periods where we lived together, in between assignments as a family. So she felt the difference. I could see that she feels the difference. And it will show if, for instance, I visit, you just want to get everything they can get out of me, in the time. And she's a girl, and as girls would, she would ask for things from me that, she wouldn't get from her mom and all of that. You could tell that it meant something because, they will hustle for me. And then my son will be very, very clingy, whenever I visited the family. That level of neediness can only come from some sort of lack, you get. So definitely they were affected. There are things I love to do with the kids. I love teaching them, preparing them for exams. I love doing it. I just love knowing that I'm responsible for laying the foundations of their, intellect, their intelligence and all of that. And it will hurt me, knowing that I can't do that, or watching them prepare for exams by themselves. You get. That definitely, I believe has an impact on them. It's not a strength my wife has, because I notice she can be very impatient with them. She's trying to teach them. She can be patient, She'll start raising her voice, and I'll be like, over the phone, don't raise your voice. They will never understand that way. You get. But if she doesn't have that temperament, she doesn't have it. You get. So yeah, it definitely did affect them. And for my son too, at a certain age, it's important that he has that influence of his father in his life, on a continuous basis. And if it's not there, it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, I think about other people that have it worse, because they have to spend longer periods away from their family because, of a longer distance, you get. And I can't imagine, at least for me, I still saw my family, every month, more or less, via visits. Short visits you get, but at least I still saw them every month, you get. So, yeah.
So there's a trade-off, because, they are getting that once in a lifetime opportunity, living in a different country, experiencing a different culture, but it does come at a cost to the family. Now, we've spent a lot of time on your children, but let's talk about the marriage, because you have people who JAPA, or they're sent abroad for work, or they're looking for greener pastures, go to school, and at the end, it affects the marriage. How were you able to make it work staying apart?
Yeah, it is a big deal, and cliche can't be oversaid, but communication is very important. Talking daily and being upfront about how difficult it is for you, even with your wife, is important. That way you can manage the challenges, with yourselves, as opposed to, managing it through any other means. Yeah. I think that's very important. And then another thing that I think I really recommend is making a big deal of the visits. Okay, plan exciting things around it. It gave us a lot to look forward to. Every time I was going to visit, so we plan to go so and so place for so and so time. We plan to do this, plan to do that together. Not all the time fantastic, but always something to look forward to whenever we are going to be together. And the not so healthy part of what I did was just work ridiculously long hours. Pour myself into work, church work, volunteering at church, pouring myself completely into that while I'm here. And then when I'm there, I just switch off from everything and just focus on my wife. Those are some of the things, yeah.
So you had things to distract you, things to take your mind off what you were missing.
Yeah.
And what about your wife? What worked for her?
More of the same, I would say. Our job is demanding. It required that she proves herself, because of the investment. And like me, she's also big on church, you get. So she has different platforms that she leads, in spiritual capacity. That's quite a bit, it takes a chunk of her time. And then, of course, she has the benefit of the kids too. Recently I've spent a lengthy amount of time with the family, in Ghana, and sometimes at night when the kids come and they both give me a kiss goodnight, I just think to myself, how luxurious is this? How luxurious is this? And this is what I watch her enjoy on the phone, routinely. So she has the benefit of the love of the kids too, on a continuous basis. So that helps her. That definitely helps her, because when I enjoy it, I know how it makes me feel, you get. So that definitely also helps. It's not easy staying away from your spouse, because we are human beings and we have needs, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it's absolutely not easy, but a lot can happen over phone calls.
Oh, well, I'll leave that to you to make what you will of it. But I think what you said about that openness and communication is so important, because there everybody's on the same page. At any point, did you ever feel pressured by yourself, your wife, your family, friends, well-wishers to pack and leave? Like, you know what, I can't do this again.
Yes. Especially in this last assignment, because it's it was it's going on 3 years, and I can't count the number of times I was tempted to just pack it up. I know I'm good enough to.
So why didn't you?
To make a living? I don't know. I just always expected that, the ideal situation will work out, where, I wouldn't have to down tools completely to join the family. It eventually did, right? But it took a long time, I would say, for me. For some people, this may not be a challenge, but for me, it was a challenge.
And were there any times that it also got to her, like maybe this company, I can move to another company, they will still invest in me, I'm all that? Like, did she ever consider that too?
Oh yes, definitely. She definitely also did. Yeah, but the ingredients were just never completely in place. Never completely in place. And the fact that we do the monthly thing and everything we did in between to keep ourselves going, we just began to learn to live with that, difficult as it was, you see. Then eventually, it worked out.
So how did it work out eventually? Like, you got a new role?
Yes, I got a new role. I got a new role that allowed me, thanks to this same company.
Hey, this company.
I got a new role that allowed me to work with a global team, but remotely. You see, so then I could work from Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're just happy that you didn't give up and eventually came through.
Yes, and even that was a bit of a choice, because I also had other options, but those options were going to take me further away from the family. So it was a good thing that option was also available at that time, you see. So
but those other options that will take you further away, would you say that they were more beneficial for you individually in your career?
Yes.
So would you say you made a sacrifice to...
I'll say so, yes. Definitely say so. But
do you expect that if the tables are turned, you two should also make such a sacrifice?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it seems like you took one before the baby, now you've taken another.
Yes.
I guess that's what they say about that, being united and having that shared vision. Like, okay, I want you to progress. But at this point in time, what was more important to you was those kisses at night and being able to teach them for their exams.
Yes, and being, taking my son to soccer practice, doing that father-son thing, being involved, in his day-to-day. It's incomplete. It's priceless. And it was a sacrifice, but in the end, it was not hard to make. It was not hard to make.
How has it made you appreciate her more for the bulk of time where
I call her Wonder Woman. I call her Wonder Woman because she's doing very well at work. The kids are fantastic, I know the extent of my contribution, to their development. So, she deserves all the commendation, all of it, for, how fantastic the kids have turned out. They're angels, they're doing very well. Proud to be their dad. So yeah, that's my Wonder Woman.
Oh, shout out to Wonder Woman. Now, I know there are people out there that are thinking, well, we're happy with this happy ending for you, but I don't see this happening maybe in another 5 years. Maybe they are stuck. So one person can't go. There's all the immigration wahala happening across the world.
Yeah.
Where you don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. What advice do you have for them to
You
just
have
keep
to
going?
make the most, though. You just have to make the most of what you have. That's all, right? You have to make the most of what you have. Depend on routines a lot. Depend on routines in terms of keeping in touch with the family, communication. Don't underestimate, it's not the same, but don't underestimate the one-on-ones with your kids, getting them to open up and talk, just talk, tell me stuff. A lot comes through a lot comes through, through those conversations. And then with your spouse, with your wife, routine, very important. Don't underestimate it. If you're going to talk every day, make it work. Across time zones, I know it can be difficult, but make it work. The gaps will build when the routine begins to fail. When the routine begins to fail, the gaps will build. What you should do is to get back to that routine as quickly as possible. The routine is what's going to save you. It's what's going to save you. It's what's going to save your marriage. It's what's going to keep you a parent to your child. Yeah. And then build on it, and then pray.
I was getting to that because you're Pastor J.
Yes.
She's Pastor Foluke, right? And your faith is something that has helped you.
Yes.
But what about your support structure, maybe from your church, for example? How has that helped you? Because if you're a pastor, we're looking at you.
Yes.
They say don't judge, but everybody will be looking like, this pastor, I hope he's doing the right thing. There are some places we're not supposed to see you.
What would I say? I mean, my church family is beautiful. I go to Harvest, that's beautiful, beautiful family. They love me, and as often as possible, people check in to say, how are you coping? I get the occasional bowl of food. I get, the invites. Why not come and join us for so and so? And those things help. They mean a lot to me. You get. And, church is also a place, if you devote yourself to, it's capable of taking as much time as you are willing to give to it, you see. So that also helped, I would have to say. It also helped. It kept me focused on, setting church goals, church objectives. And then the benefits of fantastic preaching, the benefits of prayer and believing. You see, I remember when I told my pastor, Pastor Bolaji, that I finally got I think he reacted more excited than I did when I got the opportunity. He was so happy to find out that, I'll get to join the family. So, you see, it's important that you have people that feel what you're feeling with you, at least to an extent, and I'm wishing you, I'm praying for you that what you want comes true. So, yeah, if you're in such a situation, you want to be with your family, pray God will make a way, He will, He definitely will. And He will make it beautiful in His time, yeah.
Do you also get some kind of pressure, like somebody is spying on you and going to go and tell your wife?
Yes. I have some of my guy friends from church who will be like, they will be like, at that point, they won't call you Pastor J. They'll be like, Jaye, be careful, Yeah, but all of that is important.
That accountability, knowing that you're not here on your own, even though you are on your own.
Yes, and there are quite a number of men who are in the same situation as me. I have one of men who is also in the same situation. His family is even further away in the UK, and sometimes I'll spend time in his house, rather than be at my own place, and then touch base, talk about challenges and all of that. Those things help.
There's a term for it, manchelor. You're married bachelor. So manchelor.
And I hate it so much.
So how do you keep temptation away? And you're like, look, my wife might not be here, but my wife is here. Because these days wearing a ring is no longer enough.
It's not, though.
And some people might think, spending time apart, maybe that's the beginning of the end.
If you like red rings, doesn't mean anything these days. Yeah, so having your routine is important.
So at every time, you know what she's doing and she knows what you are doing.
She knows. And, when I'm not in touch, she will make a big deal out of it, and I don't want her to get upset or to have a reason to worry. Okay, so I try as much as possible to make sure that she doesn't have any reason to worry. Those things help, and don't put yourself in a situation you won't be able to dig yourself out of. Simple.
So rather than go to places where the temptation might be lucky, you might as well go and visit your fellow.
Yeah, so Manchelo, as you say. Even though I hate that. Another question I hate is when people say, "How are you coping?" What do you want me to say? How do you want me to answer that question? I don't know. I just hate that question when people ask, "How are you coping?"
Maybe they want to say, do you need food?
I know.
Do you need...
I don't know. I mean, in most cases, it may be a good question, but I don't know. It just irks me whenever I hear that question. I don't know why, to be honest. It just irks me. Yeah.
No, I think it takes a lot of commitment to make it work when you're apart, because things you take for granted, like, okay, let's say
I mean, I enjoy it now because...
So when you fight, how do you do this whole, to say, don't go to bed, at least maybe there's a bed you are going to, so or you were not fighting during that period. How do you settle when you're doing...
Arguments have been very few and far between. You see, that's the nature of our relationship, and we quickly, even when we were together, talk about any points of disagreement. Very quickly talk about it. I don't even think we let it, simmer. Yeah, if there's something, we talk about it. You get, and it doesn't help when your partner is, your wife or husband is not where you are. At least for me, for the kind of person I am, and you are not on talking terms. I can't sleep like that. So sometimes I'm the mature person, sometimes she's the mature person. You get, but there's never a time that we allow ourselves to just be, silly. You get, or immature about differences.
So now you're back with your family.
Yes.
Do you see a third mission assignment coming? And
I think I'm done.
You'll be like, I've done it once, twice.
I think I'm done.
So at this point, you don't see anything that would make both of you live apart.
The truth is, I can't see down the road, but it will take a lot to divide the family again, in my opinion. It will take a lot to divide the family again. Yeah, it will take a lot.
Not even that company.
At this point.
So my final question would be like the biggest lesson you've learned from it, because I feel like you've gone through it once, you've gone through it twice, and now you are in your promised land. The family is reunited. You two have effectively jackpot for work, and you can take that hindsight. It's 50-50, right? Yeah, you can. Is it 2020? I think hindsight is 2020. You can look back and say, okay, wow, this is the biggest lesson or the biggest takeaway, so that people who are watching too, can learn from it.
My biggest takeaway is that nothing is what separates in the family. Absolutely nothing is what separates in the family. The role of a father or the role of a mother in the life of their children is also spiritual. And I don't see how you can fulfill that. God said to Abraham, he said, I know Abraham, my servant, he will command his children and his family to follow after me. I don't see how you can actually fulfill that role completely, separate. You may have to be separate, for a reason, but always be working towards, bringing the family unit back together. It's the right thing for you, it's the right thing for your kids. I even think it's what God expects of us, to be honest.
Very powerful. Yeah. So it might be temporal, but eventually
work your way back.
Yeah. So that
as
family
quickly
unit.
As possible. Yes.
Yeah, it took you quite a while, though.
Yes, it did. But work your way back. Yeah.
Okay, way back. Thank you so much, Pastor J. Wish you all the
You're
best.
welcome.
Should I start saying Charlie? Akwaba.
Yes,
Where
you
is
can.
my Shito and my Kelewele? Now I know that when I come to Accra, I have,
No,
I have
come
my
on.
people.
You do.
Yes.
You definitely
Thank
do.
you so much for sharing and being so
Thank you
honest,
for having
and
me. Yeah.
and for appreciating your wife for all that she has done, because it ain't easy.
It ain't easy. Oh, it ain't easy.
For those assignments to keep coming, it means that she's also distinguishing herself in her
Yes.
workplace,
Yes.
and she's not also dropping the ball with the kids, with church, and other commitments.
Yeah.
So,
Wonderful.
well done, well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Bella. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
You're still hanging out with me, Isabella Adeniyi, on For Families podcast. Now, this is the segment where I share what I'm loving now. I put you on to the good stuff. It could be a product, it could be a service, or it could be something that I enjoy doing, literally, and I want you to enjoy it too as well. So today, I bring you Oraimo Space Arc. Yeah, you're thinking Oraimo Space Arc. What is it? Well, it is an earpiece. It's very light. I think you look at it and you think, this thing is going to be very heavy, but it isn't. And, I'm going to put it on now. What I love about it is that it's not inside my eardrums. You know how you have those earpieces or earphones and they are inside, before you know it, they're collecting the wax in your ear instead of the cotton bud, and it becomes dirty. So it's not even hygienic. But this, it doesn't enter the ear. It just sits really nicely. You can still see there's some space here. So it's clean, basically. And it's very light. It's easy to wear. And you can actually have conversations because it's not inside your eardrum and all the music is just going. You can have conversations. So you can be listening to music and you can still be engaging with your kids. You can still be listening in on their conversations. You can still be following what's happening. And I think that's really important because sometimes you have these earphones, earpiece, whatever you call them, and you're blocked away from the world. So it's not even safe. And you see a lot of teenagers, they're just wearing it and they don't know what is happening. But with this, you are still able to hear what else is happening. So for me, I see it's like a movie, because when you're watching a movie, you're enjoying the dialogue of the characters, but you're also enjoying the soundtrack, the atmospheric music, and you're enjoying both. So it's the same thing. I can enjoy that soundtrack, but still follow the conversation. So that's another reason why I like the Oraimo Space Arc. Another thing is that I don't know if you're a fan of Afrobeats, you like Burna, but you actually hear voice prompts from Odogu Burna. And so if you're a fan of Burna, you want to hear Burna's voice, then there are prompts. So that's what the Burna fans. Now let's talk about how long it can last. Like, guys, 1 month. Can you imagine? 1 month. You can be listening 1 month. 36 hours playback time. Like, come on. And even when you charge it a few minutes and the charging is fast. So, I mean, that's another great thing, because these days, I don't know about you, but when it even comes to our phones, we always like to wait till it's almost, as in the thing has almost died, it's already on red before we charge it. But with this few minutes, you're charging it, and the fact that it can last a month, 36 hours playback time, I think that's super cool. Yeah. So have you tried the Oraimo Space Arc? Let me know. It's working for me, and I like to put the good things on, put you on all the good things, right? So yeah, follow the conversation, but still enjoy music in your ears or a podcast in your ears, so you're not totally detached. And I think even for our teenagers, we need that, so that even if they are listening to music, they can still be aware of their environment. And same thing for the parents. So highly recommended. Go get yourself the Oraimo Space Arc. That's it on what I'm loving now. What are you loving? You too. You should also put me on to the good stuff. I'd love to hear. And you have the details on the screen. So get in touch, send a DM, and yeah, let's take it from there. This is the segment where we answer your burning questions. Thank you to everyone who has sent a question. Thank you. Really, if you have a question, send it in. I'll try as much as possible to answer to the best of my knowledge. So this question is one that has come up a lot online. You have a situation where the woman earns more money than the man. So what happens? Well, for me, I see this thing as a partnership. If it's a marriage or a partnership, a relationship, if one person is earning more, it's for the betterment of the two now. Think about it. When you were in primary school or in secondary school and your friend had more than you had, but this is your best friend will still share. It won't matter. Maybe your best friend came with 2 snacks and gave you 1. Will you say, oh, because it's my best friend and it's not me, I will not enjoy it? No. I feel like if a woman earns more money, the family enjoys. It is even the pride of the man. My wife na baller, my wife is a big girl. It's a thing of pride. So, and there's no condition that is permanent. Because the woman is earning more money today, does not mean tomorrow the man cannot earn more money. It doesn't even matter who is earning more money per time. So far as the family is better off for it, then it's okay. It's okay, really. For the woman to even earn more money, do you know whether the man has had to make certain sacrifices? Do you know whether the man has had to turn down several job opportunities or had to take a lower paying job or had to even stay back home with the kids or make a career altering decision just to support the woman? And at the end of the day, she's not earning more money. So I think if you understand yourselves and you understand that this is a union and everything you earn is not just for you, but it's for your family. So me, I don't subscribe to, oh, I'm a woman, my money is my money, but the man, his money is our money. No, if you are one, then everybody's money is everybody's money and it's for the family. So I don't think it's a big deal. And for the men, your wife is earning more money. Your worth should not be defined by what you have, because what you have can change. Tomorrow, you can literally win the lottery and then all of a sudden you become a billionaire overnight. Does that mean that your worth is based on that? I think your values, your character, who you are, those are more important things. So to the men out there who are feeling maybe like, my woman is earning more money, please, that is your pride and joy. And to the women out there, we know how men, their ego can be. Their egos can be. You know how men, their egos can be. So it's not like to now rub it in, like it's me that is paying for this, it's me that is paying for that. So one is getting paid. We don't need to know who is paying for what. And just appreciate yourselves. Where there's that mutual respect and honesty, transparency, then your prayer to as the woman is that as you don't do for me, it go do for you. You too, you will earn more money. But whoever makes more money per time, no big deal. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's a big deal? Please let me know. Contact details are on the screen. Slide into our DMs. Let us know, like, what do you feel? And if there's a question, send it. We will be more than happy to attempt to answer it here. Wow, what an episode. I really love the fact that here on For Families podcast, we keep it real. We have real conversations on real issues that are affecting families, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. And today's conversation on keeping it together, keeping the spark, keeping the family unit together when you're apart, which sounds like an oxymoron, is something that we don't talk enough about, because loneliness is real. The children are seeing everything. They are feeling everything. The media is there portraying what the family unit should be. And it's so important that while you're apart, whether it's for a month, a year, 5 years, that there's that honesty and there's that transparency, there's routine, there's conversation. And that's what I got from the conversation with our guest, that you never lose sight on that vision of what you want for your family, and you respect the other person and try to put yourself in their shoes and show up as much as you can. Plan those visits. So there's always something to look forward to, and engage with the children and find ways to be very supportive even when you can't physically be there. Definitely, if you know anyone who is in this JAPA situation or has a significant part of the family living elsewhere, send them the link to this. It's definitely going to bless their lives, what they can do to ensure the marriage keeps going strong and the kids are not affected, that they actually make the most of the situation. And then we looked at what I'm loving right now. Yes, that's the part where I put you onto the good stuff. And right now it's the Oraimo Space Arc. So it's very lightweight. It doesn't actually, it's an earpiece, earphones, whatever you call it. It doesn't enter the eardrum. So you can actually have a conversation and you're still enjoying music, and at the same time it's hygienic, so it's not picking up wax. And the battery time and just how long it lasts, 1 month, 36 hours playback time, like amazing. And if you like Burner and you want to hear his voice, then that's another reason to get it. And then our burning question, woman any more than man, big deal. So what about when man earns more than woman? Do we make it a big deal? So I think if you look at it from the place of this is a partnership, this is a union, and whatever we're earning is for the family and we're better off for it. So man, if your woman is earning more money, now your pride though, you go gallant well, as in you'll be happy, because as it happened for her, it can happen for you. And seasons, it's not every time that she will earn more than you. And even though upon still, is it not for the family? Yeah. So men out there, please do not feel threatened. And women out there, you know how men can be with their egos. Just try not to now rub it in. Yeah. And that's where we call it a day. We call it a wrap on For Families podcast. I've really enjoyed this episode. I know I say that all the time, but that's because I'm also learning. I'm also getting better as a parent, as a child, because people will born me, or I still be picking, and I'm better off for it. And I hope you too are better off for it, learning from these conversations. Please support us. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you can get notifications. Tap the bell, subscribe, and ensure you're following us on the different social media platforms. And go a step further, share the link with someone, post on your stories. I mean, that's how you can keep the ministry moving. And till next time, I still remain your host, Isabella Adeniyi.